Hello there, welcome to the 365 Challenge, 365 guitar lessons in 365 days. In the previous video I was talking about using the modes to make different shapes, colours, sounds even. Now one good example of how to do this without any sort of backing, because the modes are essentially you take them out of context with just a solo instrument, they're almost meaningless. You need some chords to play over to really hear the difference. So one thing you can do on the guitar, because you've got the open E string there, you can just leave that sustaining in the background while you experiment with some other some scales that are over that E. So E is your root note, but there's nothing else in there. It's not E major or E minor. It's not, there's no implication of a key. It's just an E. So you could, for example, treat that E as the root note in the key of E. So you'd be playing E Ionian over the top, and you can just leave that sustaining while you mess around on the other strings, and you can do this kind of thing. So that's very much a major sound, but then maybe I want to change that now to maybe Phrygian, so E Phrygian, which is a minor scale. And then maybe E Lydian. Oops, sorry, put a wrong note in for Lydian there, sorry. And maybe a little bit of Aeolian. Bit of a double harmonic. And then maybe a bit of mixed Lydian. And maybe a bit of Aeolian dominant. A bit of blues scale. And a bit of a Phrygian dominant maybe. So any one of the 7 modes and the pentatonic scale, major and minor, and the more exotic scales like the melodic minor, the harmonic minor, and then there are modes of those as well, so that's where the Phrygian dominant and the Aeolian dominant come from. And then there's the double harmonic minor, which is a nice sort of Arabic scale. It's also known as the Byzantine scale. Now, it's not really necessary to know all of these scales inside and out and know all the modes of them and all over the fretboard. Perhaps that's an ideal, but really I think you just need to be able to compare them to the major scale Ionian and the minor scale Aeolian. That's a great place to be at, because then you can just, while you're improvising, you can think, okay, well, what if I change that from Aeolian to Dorian? I've only got to change one note. I've got to take my minor sixth, which is in Aeolian, and make it a major sixth, and then I've changed the whole scale to Dorian. But which sounds like a very boring thing to think, but actually, if you just think it quick as a flash and then improvise something that sounds good, then hey, then you're making music, which is what it's all about. So there's an explanation of the modes. I know it's a confusing subject. I think it's a confusing subject perhaps because it's hard to explain clearly, because there's quite a few facets to it. But even though, once you get the hang of it, it is really simple. If you don't understand what I've been talking about, feel free to get in contact through my website and ask me a question. Okay, thanks for listening. Goodbye.